Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you love spooky tales, haunted places, and real ghost stories, you're in the right spot. Today, we're diving into another chilling story that's sure to give you goosebumps. So, grab your favorite snack, turn off the lights, and get ready to be spooked. He's watching you, and he remembers everything. In the warm, sunlit charm of Key West, Florida, there lies a chilling secret tucked away inside the Fort East Martello Museum. Behind a protective glass case sits Robert the doll, an eerie, 40-inch figure in a faded sailor suit. He doesn't move, unless you aren't looking. Tourists take his photo, some forget to ask permission, and that's when the nightmares begin. Broken bones, lost jobs, sudden illness. Hundreds have written letters apologizing to Robert, begging him to lift whatever curse he placed on them. This isn't just a haunted doll. This is one of the most feared objects in the world. If you think it's all just legend, just wait until you meet him face to face. But be careful, Robert never forgets a visitor. Welcome to the haunted tale of Robert the doll, a story you won't forget, but one he might remember forever. In the early 19th, young Robert Eugene Otto, nicknamed Gene, was given a peculiar handmade doll by a Bahamian servant in his Key West home. The servant, according to legend, was mistreated by the family and practiced voodoo and black magic. The doll, about 40 inches tall and stuffed with straw, had beady black eyes, a sailor suit, and a smile that seemed just a little too lifelike. Gene named the doll Robert after himself, and took it everywhere, talking to it, dressing it, even giving it its own seat at the dinner table. But soon, disturbing events began to unfold. Gene's parents would overhear two voices in his room, Gene's and another much deeper. Objects would go missing or be found broken, and Gene would always say the same thing: Robert did it. Neighbors reported seeing the doll move from window to window when the family was away. Gene kept Robert even into adulthood, giving him his own room in the attic. But visitors claimed they could hear footsteps above them, giggling, or even see Robert staring at them from the shadows. What began as a child's toy had turned into something far more sinister, a lifelong companion with a terrifying presence. Gene's parents would often overhear him carrying on long conversations with Robert the doll. What started as innocent play soon turned eerie because sometimes a deep, guttural voice would respond. Even more disturbing, objects around the house began to move or break. Silverware was flung across rooms, vases shattered on their own, and doors slammed without wind. When asked, Gene never wavered. He simply said, "Robert did it." Neighbors added their own chilling observations. They claimed to see the doll peering out of different windows when no one was home. One servant, after hearing giggles and footsteps from the upstairs room where Robert was kept, quit on the spot. As Gene grew older, his bond with the doll only deepened. He took Robert with him even as a grown man and eventually gave him his own chair in the turret room of the family's Key West mansion. When Gene married, his wife was immediately uneasy. She insisted that the doll be confined to the attic, but that only seemed to anger it. Soon after, she began having vivid nightmares. She awoke many nights paralyzed, unable to move or scream, with the sound of whispered voices swirling around her. She claimed to see Robert's expression change, watching her with cold malice. Despite her protests, Gene would often retrieve the doll, speaking to it for hours, and the more time Robert spent out of the attic, the more intense the disturbances became. Scratches on the walls, cold drafts, and that haunting laughter echoing in the silence. After Gene Otto's death in 1974, his Key West home was sold and Robert the doll was finally removed from the attic. He was donated to the Fort East Martello Museum, where he now sits inside a glass display case. But even behind the safety of glass, Robert's influence has not diminished. Visitors and staff alike report a chilling array of experiences. Cameras and phones often malfunction or shut down entirely when pointed at him. Others have reported sudden illness, car accidents, or devastating personal misfortunes shortly after visiting, especially if they mocked him or took his photo without permission. So many people have claimed to suffer from Robert's curse that the museum now displays hundreds of apology letters around his case. Some beg for forgiveness, others recount tragedies they blame on the doll, broken bones, job losses, even deaths in the family. Museum staff tell stories of Robert's expressions subtly shifting, his gaze following them as they walk past. Security footage has reportedly shown brief flickers of movement inside the sealed case. One employee even claimed to hear a childlike laugh echoing through the museum late at night despite being alone. To this day, Robert is treated with extreme caution. After all, he's not just a doll, he remembers. If you visit Robert the doll at the Fort East Martello Museum, there are rules you must follow, rules born not out of superstition, but from countless eerie experiences that visitors and staff have shared over the years. First and foremost, always ask for permission before taking his photo. Those who don't often claim to suffer strange and sudden misfortunes, lost jobs, broken relationships, unexplained illnesses, or even accidents. Second, never mock or insult him, even as a joke. Robert is said to be highly sensitive to disrespect. Laugh at him, roll your eyes, or say something sarcastic in his presence, and you may regret it. Staff members have seen visitors walk away smirking only to return weeks later with stories of bad luck and apology letters in hand. That leads to the third rule. If you feel cursed, you can write Robert a letter. The museum receives hundreds every year, mailed from around the world. Each one pleads with Robert to forgive, to forget, to lift the curse. Today, Robert sits quietly in his glass case. But many believe he's more than cloth and stuffing. They say he absorbs your energy, remembers your words and waits. Whether you believe or not, one thing is certain: no one forgets Robert. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this ghost story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a frightful tale. Have you ever had a creepy encounter? Drop your story in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Until next time, stay safe, keep your lights on, and remember, the spirits might just be watching.